Everyone, I'd like to call this Beaufort County Board of Education Self-Evaluation, Ad Hoc Self-Evaluation Committee meeting to order. This meeting is being live streamed, and public comments could have been reserved at 1 o'clock.
We don't have any though.
Don't have any?
No, sir.
Okay. We'd like to start by opening up with a Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, our first item is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting.
That we approve the agenda?
Second.
All right, Mr. Striebinger move for approval, and Ms. Fidrych seconded the motion. Any question? Ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Next, there is no public comment, so we go to the approval of the April 5th meeting minutes. Any comment?
I move that we approve the April 5th, 2021 Ad Hoc Self-Evaluation Committee meeting minutes.
Okay. I guess I have to second it. Before I want to second it, then I want to make a comment about an item in that minutes. Robin.
I'm gonna pull them up so you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, matter of language is down where you
Keep going.
say, I'm trying to see it. The purpose of the survey.
The
right there, right
committee
there.
discussed creating a survey for board members to take after each meeting. The questions would come. Oh, the purpose of would focus on those areas that scored the lowest. You want me to change it?
I want you to go on, keep reading. I'll tell you what I want you to change.
Scored the lowest, and board members would take the survey after each meeting to rate themselves on how.
That's what I want you to change.
Okay. What do you want me to take it out? Take it out.
Rate themselves, kind of, in my mind, say the board members will be taking that survey and rating themselves, but really it's them rating the board.
The board, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Not individualized.
I will remove that.
Okay. Everybody agree with that? I understand what I'm getting at. Tricia?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
David wasn't there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can take the motion to a vote, unless there are further comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0-1.
Yeah.
So the next item is the discussion of the board self-evaluation instrument, and particularly the survey to language and questions have been pretty much discussed in the last meeting, but I looked at the survey, and I think we need to write some kind of preface or whatever you call it to assure the people who are taking the board of the purpose, that the board members, of the purpose of the survey. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, Mel, I think that's really important, especially since the title of the survey is Board Meeting Self-Evaluation Draft.
Yeah. I don't
So
want,
we can,
yeah.
so what do you want the title to be?
You can just say board self-evaluation survey, without using meeting in there. Some of those questions are meeting specific. That the 5 questions, some of them are not meeting specific at all. It's ongoing questions about the board's effectiveness, and which is the intent of the survey. And I look back again at the policy, and the policy covers almost everything we're doing, and that it instructs the board to conduct self-evaluation, and it also instructs the board to go on with a continuation of that evaluation of self-improvement until we meet, I guess a high level of efficiency. But so this survey is about us continuing that self-improvement that the general assessment said we needed. And we're addressing it 5 questions at a time. So yeah, I think anybody could come in with the comment or suggestion on what we need up top. But that survey, I think, is a survey. I wrote down that it's a part of the ongoing self-evaluation process of the Beaufort County Board of Education as outlined in policy GC36.
Mel, I think that sounds good, especially since you use the word ongoing.
Yeah.
You reference the policy. I think the title should be changed to something like, Beaufort County BCSD Board of Education self-evaluation, because I think I had difficulty answering it when I was thinking about one meeting.
Yes.
And
some
so
of those questions are not very conducive to one meeting reflection. You really need to reflect back on what went on over the last month that would be different than than the month before. And every time we do this survey, it's like, are we headed in the right direction for this question? I don't have the questions. I've got the question in front of me, but the board focus on student achievement. That's the board, purview more so than just the meeting. We focus on student achievement for the entire month. Other meetings and other endeavors, so that does include the superintendent initiative and everything that the board has in place. And a couple others on there.
Yeah, that came from question 86.
Yeah, I mean, the question is evidence, yeah, but it's about student achievement more so than the board meetings, right?
Correct.
And the others, scroll down for me, Robert, scroll.
Okay, let me
Let's survey down a little.
Let me keep going.
Yeah, go down to 5. That's good. Okay, that's good. Oh, I want 3 and 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, 3, board handle all conflict internally, externally, openly, constructive, and with transparency. That's not relevant to the board meeting alone. That transparency reflects on all the things that we've done from the last meeting to now, that, you know, that the intent is transparency and, of course, handling conflicts, which is not necessarily about that one meeting. And also the fourth and fifth. I mean, the fifth one, I don't know whether the agenda means board meeting or not, but I don't think it should mean board meeting. You know, the board agenda focus primarily on the results and operational expectations. Well, on what agenda? The meeting agenda, or then we should put meeting agenda, right? But I think it talks about our entire agenda.
I would think the board meeting agenda, because the agenda is what drives the meeting.
We're not talking about the meeting, Will. You're not listening. I'm saying I don't think that agenda is about the meeting. The agenda is about all the things we're doing.
Mr. Campbell?
It's a little different.
Yes.
I do think that if we change the title, and then I was thinking that if we changed the tense of on the questions, the board focuses on student achievement.
Yeah.
Then that might lend itself more to that continuum, the idea
Yes.
of ongoing.
Right.
The board meetings run efficiently. The board, oh, well, that number 3 is already handles, but number 4, board members model behavior. And I think by changing the tense, then it gives you that current and forward thinking instead of it all in the past. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah and no, but yeah, I can buy I know some of the tenses need to be changed in terms, because you wanted to continue past this point. It's a running thing.
Well,
But
otherwise, I don't think that the responses are, I don't know how David, I know that you were, looking at this too, like for the first time, but I don't think the responses line up with how the question is asked. It's hard to answer them.
That's correct. I did observe that. My concern was, can we change the way the responses are lining up? But okay, if the language change would make those responses efficient, then let's go with the language change. I'm not,
Because that was the
English
responses. Okay. Those were that's how you used, those were the responses that you used on the evaluation in that order.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and number one, I don't want anything wrong with focus, except, when you answer the question, you're answering the question now, not in terms of what happened over the last year, but what happened since you answered that question the last time. That's the way I'm looking at it. You answered that question last meeting, and you said about half of the time. And then after 30 days, you see that more is being done for focused achievement, then you might want to change it to most of the time, or after a series of time, you might say most of the time. But I'm looking at, as we compile these surveys, do we give room for change for the individual board members to observe and make the change? Because that's what we're trying to accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can agree with you. If you want to change some of the word, I don't know, that much about the English correct word usage, but if you want to change some of the word usage to emphasize a reflection and that that's going to occur again later, that's fine with me. That's what I would suggest, yeah. And going further with this, what kind of motion would we develop that's not already a policy? It's not already in the policy GC 3-6. That's the other thing that was on my mind as I tried to think about a motion. You know, is the motion gonna be just that we agree to follow the policy, which we already agreed to, to get board members, right? Earl?
Yes, two things. One, when are we going to put this into effect to start doing this?
5-question survey.
Yes, are we going to? Yes, are we going to start?
Maybe vote to do it, Earl.
I think we should start at our next meeting.
Well, that's my question now is that our committee, we got to decide whether by starting at the next meeting, we are following due process or not, or whether or not we need to have a motion passed to start this.
Okay. Okay. Or if not, have it the first meeting in May.
Yeah. David?
Thanks. Now, yeah, the board is going to have to agree to do this. We can't, implement it without the full board agreeing to do it, because then we'd be violating one of the questions probably. So, I think we just asked the board to agree to do this survey. I'm not sure it should be after every meeting, because that's what threw me off. If we were going to do it after every meeting, it would seem we were evaluating that meeting. Maybe if we do it once a month, it would line up with what you're saying, Melvin. Now I understand where you're going. If we did it once a month, then it would be over the prior month.
I could say once a month. Yeah, once a month. I mean,
Right.
Not every meeting, but once a month, reflecting on the last month's activity of the Beaufort County School District, including the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can get the board to agree to do that, then we can start it in May.
Yeah.
Right.
Now back to your point about where you have to get them to agree to do it. Did they agree on GC, or we haven't done that yet on policy GC 3.6?
Yeah, we agreed on everything except the operational expectations. So
Okay, so we agreed on that policy. Then that's in the policy that the board has agreed to do this.
right, we didn't agree to do the survey, but we agreed to do a self-evaluation. So I think
Self-evaluation, ongoing self-evaluation, whatever form it takes. I mean,
Right.
So. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind making a motion that we, do the survey as a part of the self-evaluation process. But it seems to me like that's just picking apples, in a fruit basket. But anyway, let's
Williams?
decide on that. So Tricia, you've got the 3 words you want to replace in place.
Well, I don't know that we do anymore. If we are going with, your concept, David's thoughts on this, and we're going to do it once a month, and we're thinking back on what has led up to it, then it's probably fine.
Yeah, because our idea when we developed this now is very similar to the self-evaluation tool, but it's incremental this time, and we're trying to monitor the progress towards the next self-evaluation, the next final self-evaluation process.
Right.
So, and this is just a way of, well, use a better word, nudging the board toward a more effective more operation.
Mm-hmm.
David?
one thing, I think we're going to have to change number 2
Okay.
to be plural.
Mm-hmm.
Board meetings were run efficiently.
Yeah, okay. Very good, thank you. Yeah.
And then the responses seem to make more sense.
Yeah, they do. They make sense when you know that you're reflecting back over a interval. It's a small time interval, but it is an interval where more than one meeting occurred, but a lot of incidents occurred.
Mhm.
And how we handle it even without meetings, you know, from communication to other things, constituency concerns. There's a lot of stuff happening. How are we addressing it as a board? And that's what we're trying to answer those questions. Well,
Well, I have two questions too. First, I do kind of agree with David Striebinger, but also my questions would be, I thought we were doing it quarterly. So I remember us discussing doing it quarterly. So my question would be, if we do it monthly, what will we do with the results that we get monthly?
We will report the results quarterly. That was the agreement when we had the discussion. We're gonna do it monthly, hold the tabulation, and report the results quarterly.
Okay. So, and this is something that this will be a volunteer motion, correct? Because really, we can't really make any board member agenda. We can ask them, but I think if they're willing or they want to do it to participate, then it would be great for them to do so.
Yeah, we're gonna ask them to follow the policy. That's all. I mean, basically, we're asking them. That was the gist of my discussion in terms of it's already a policy, Will. So yeah, as a part of the policy ongoing, execution of this policy, we're asking them to do this as a part. Yes. If you don't want to do it, we can't police you. There's no, because we don't have that,
Authority, right? Correct.
Yeah, that'd just be another check saying Mel Campbell is not doing something else. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah. Anything else?
So do I change the question? The board handled all conflict? Do we make that past tense?
Well,
Question number 3, or just leave it as is?
I don't know. That's Tricia or David, the English people. My mind say it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It is a question that's open-ended, and at this point you're answering. If they've been doing it well up to this point, handles is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Handle would mean the finality in my English grammar. When you say handle, it's all done, and we've done it all. So
every other question though has an ED, doesn't it? Modeled, focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I was asking for consistency.
Well, then all of them either have to be ED or not.
Right,
not, but if you want to put ED, fine. my mind, not, because it's not final. But go ahead, let's make them ED. Let's make them ED.
Is there anything else?
That's the way it is on evaluation.
Yeah.
The end of the year evaluation.
Right.
But yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to change?
Well, we were going to change number 2, right?
Number 2 will say the board meetings, plural, were run efficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? How are we going to ask them to do it now?
And the title is BCSD self-evaluation. Correct?
BCSD, Board of Education.
Yeah. Board of Education.
Self-evaluation.
Yeah, self-evaluation survey.
Do you want a date on it, or don't put a date so it's the same thing each month? Do we need to date the evaluation so that we know I mean, how,
Which one, what was occurring as time go along?
correct.
Well, do
Yeah.
the results come back with dates?
I have
That
to,
would-
Molly, can you answer that? Because you got the email.
I'm sorry, can you ask that again? What was the question?
Will there be some type of date stamp on the results?
Let me check. I think it'll go out as individual quizzes, so I
When you
think we
got
can
my,
keep a date on them that way.
when you got the result back, when I answered it, you said you got it in an email. How did
Yes,
it come back?
That comes in an email and it just, when you open it, it goes back to the web page.
Okay,
So I can put the date on the title of the quiz.
Yeah,
So,
well, then you'll put the date every time,
mhm,
but you gotta do it every time, every month now.
mhm.
correct.
Yeah. Okay,
No problem
Will,
with me.
thank you. Your hands up. I don't see. William. Muted.
Oh yeah, my bad. I need to put my hands on my bad.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
So do you want
Anything
this?
else that? So help me formulate this motion, David.
I move that the board agree to complete self-evaluation form once a month.
Really complete the self-evaluation form once a month.
Maybe we should say the self-evaluation form as presented, because they're approving the form also, right?
Yeah.
So they're approving the form and that they're going to do it once a month.
Okay. As presented, once a month. Okay. All right, I move that the board agree to complete the self-evaluation form as presented once a month.
I think that hits the target.
Is that right? That what you want?
I think that sounds good.
Okay. We don't need to refer to the policy at all.
Well, is there room to put a little opening statement at the top of the Survey Monkey, Robin?
I have to ask Molly because I had her create the survey.
Okay.
Molly,
You know-
is there room?
I think there's a place we could put like a description. I hadn't
Yeah.
played much with it yet, so.
I
Yeah,
bet
it
there
should be a
is.
place. It should be a place where you're putting some instruction there, or students won't do it if they can't see centers say, why are we doing this? And I think it's geared towards that
Yeah.
People need to know what this is about. So there should be some space in there, Robin, somewhere.
Can you provide what language that you want on it?
Well, I suggested this survey, which is about the survey that you've already headlined, is a part of an ongoing self-evaluation process of the Beaufort County Board of Education, as outlined in policy GC 3.6. I think it's 3.6.
Okay,
You got that?
that's what you put in the email that you sent out, correct?
I didn't put that in there, no.
No, okay.
I don't think so. I didn't send that email out.
No, you didn't. Say that again because I'm trying to
Yes.
maneuver.
This survey is a part of an ongoing self-evaluation process of the Beaufort County Board of Education as outlined in policy GC 3.6.
All right. I'm gonna, after this meeting, I'm gonna type out what you said and then email it just to verify what you said.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So are we clear where we are? Well, listen, I think this is it. I don't know what else we have to do as a committee, but we'll ask the chair if there's more to be done. Yes, Tricia.
So would we just meet once a quarter to review the results prior to presenting them to the board?
Yes, I would assume that would be our role still.
Right. Okay.
David?
I agree. I think that's what our role is. Wouldn't hurt to get a confirmation that that's
Yeah,
our.
from the chair, yeah. Yeah, we'll ask her,
Mhm.
to redefine our role. Yeah. Any other comment, question, or concerns?
No, I think this is good.
So I think we're good. I think, we've done a lot more than we were at this point last year.
True.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. Okay, that being the case, what else do we have on the agenda, Robin?
That's it.
Okay,
Excellent.
all right, so I'm looking for a motion of adjournment.
I move that we
move.
adjourn.
I second.
All right, so ordered.
Thank you for your chairmanship, Mel.
Thank you for being such great committee people. I couldn't do it without you, as you already know.
All right, everybody have a good weekend.
Have a
All
good
right,
one.
thank you guys, and have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
See you too soon. I mean Tuesday.